I can't take it anymore. We are closing this cafe forever. Oh man, I've seen this before on Facebook. It's absolutely disastrous. I understand how they feel, so I've created this video. It's here's your top 5 reasons to close your cafe. It's not all doom and gloom, however. I'm also going to provide some simple solutions. I just want to reiterate, having been in the industry for a long time, I understand it seems like it would never change, that these problems are going to stay in the long run, but really, with a few minor tweaks, cafe owners can get some resolve and find the power in their cafe to build an asset. It's the calculated efforts that really pay off as long as you've got the right system. Without further ado, here's my top 5 reasons for why you should shut your cafe. And if you can't change them, yes, it's likely you should move on, but I think you can. Number 1, long working hours and little sleep. Sometimes it's due to the workload, sometimes it's due to the worry load. Equipment breakdowns. Oh my God, this is just another added expense that cafes cannot really afford to have. It's usually because of improper use by staff or buying faulty second-hand equipment in the first place. Invest well in your products. Managing staff and customers. Oh, geez, who wants to deal with people? It's the hospitality industry, right? Leaders struggling to manage the workload that was once a passion, but now they're aiming for profits, and it's hard to balance this out. With all of these things generally in flow simultaneously, this leads to overwhelm. Overwhelm gets really under our skin and makes us want to quit that thing that we started with passion. I could go on and on about how these problems really mean you've got to put your business up for sale, but I'm more of a solution-oriented kind of guy, so let's get into the solutions. Cross-train your team to understand what goes on in the kitchen, how it affects the front of house and vice versa, and the service components. Have this done in a strategic manner by using a schedule. Invest in basic equipment maintenance. Establish relationships with local repair technicians. Foster a positive work environment and invest in their happiness. That could come through product, that could come through correct rostering, that could come through promoting, that could come by recognizing good work. This is a big one. Develop a solid business strategy. Things like KPIs. What do you want to achieve this quarter? Break that down into the weekly and daily practices. Ooh, work-life balance. That's a hot topic. If you want some balance, that means you can't be the one doing everything, even though you're the owner. You've got to understand your key strengths and put them into the business. Now, if you're the boss and you don't want to be stuck on the register, on the table waiting, on the coffee making, you're going to have to delegate, which means, yes, some staff training is involved. Running a cafe is meant to be something about passion. It's not meant to be about drain on your life. By creating a cafe that solves the above problems, you're actually creating an asset which can be saleable at the right time to the right person for the right dollar amount. If you set it up correctly, you should actually create autonomous operations practices where you can check in every day or every week, see how things are going. You've got all the people and practices in place and it's working well. This, of course, means you need to build teams, which means you need to find high-performance, quality workers who can work unsupervised and that you can trust with your baby. This model of business is transformative in the cafe world, but it's well worth it. It does take a bit of setup time, but once you've set it up, you'll be flying. Be sure to have incentives for yourself and your team in the way of good systems, solid products, and adequate pay structures that remunerate people for their hard efforts. This in turn will bleed back that love and passion into your business as well as the industry. You'll get a reputation as being a great employer, which will attract higher quality staff. In the past, Starbucks, they had a major staff problem. What they did was they improved the quality for the customer in their online ordering app. This was an absolute game changer for their business. I'll link down in the description the article on just this issue. This is a transformative business practice that allowed the owner to move from having an operation that was clinky and clunky into one that had an asset. Run through the process of ideation where you identify your bottlenecks, your blocks, your barriers, your complaints, and disseminate where in the operations problem you're going wrong. Is it operations in a system sense? Is it the personnel you've got doing the job? Would they be suited better to a different role? And if you're really stuck on what to do, just write your problems down in Google, type it into the search bar, and ask Google, how do I solve this X, Y, and Z problem? You'll be surprised at what you find. Experience the empowerment of taking control, the relief of implementing a successful strategy, and the optimism of reigniting your passion as a cafe owner once again. Harness that power, feed it into your team, your customers, and beyond the financial assets you can create. With a success-driven cafe strategy, your mental asset is the one you'll be protecting the most.